Yo, it's the coach at T7M Radio. It's the kid Seven Mitchell. Appreciate y'all locking in. We got a special guest tonight. It's going down January 21st. Win Awards. Shout out to Queen of the Ring, Babs Bunny, Debo, Vague, the shooters, all the supporters of the Queen of the Ring. They bringing the Win Awards back. They got a dope sparring session going down January 21st. Joining me tonight, I got a special guest out in Toronto. She's been doing her thing. This is definitely my first time being able to talk to her, bringing her on to the culture out in Ontario. We got the girl, Miss Black Pearl, in the building. Pearl, what's popping?
What up? What up?
What up, though?
How you doing? How's your night going?
Man, everything is everything. Appreciate you calling up to the culture. Happy New Year to you and all that.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you, too. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, man, you already know. Definitely. Salute to your management, man. They reached out, so... Oh, man, we got to get right into it. I don't want to waste no time with this because you've definitely been doing your thing, and it's going down on the 21st. Like, how excited are you to be in, dealing with the Queen of the Ring?
I'm not excited. To be honest, like, it was something I obviously, being a female new to battle rap, it's something I was always aiming for. But to have the opportunity come to me and come in the way that it did and the time that it did, I'm just mad grateful, and I'm looking forward to killing it next weekend.
Word, it's going to be bananas. I'm looking at the roster, some of the girls on the lineup. I don't know if you really be in the loop with your potential opponents because this is kind of a random situation, but does anybody stand out to you?
Not really. I mean, I'm a research type of person. I like to know what I'm getting into. I like to be prepared. So I've checked a few of them out. I know what they're coming with, but nobody really stands out to me that I'm concerned about necessarily. Like, I'm just coming with my A game. I'm worried about, I'm focused on what I can control, which is me. So
Word.
That's it. I'm just gonna bring my shit and come talk my shit and do my.
That's facts. Now your penmanship is bananas. Like, I was locked into one of your most recent battles. I think this was the most recent battle against Lucinda.
Yeah, that was in
your
Montreal.
Your pen game is crazy. Like, whew, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, that means a lot. Anytime anybody shows respect for my talent and my game and what I bring to the table, I appreciate it. I mean, it's been a long time coming. I've been writing since I was a kid, and obviously writing for music and songs is definitely different than writing for battle rap. So that transition was a little bit different for me, but I definitely feel like I'm getting into the swing of it and really trying to play around with, some wordplay and as well metaphors, similes, adding a little thing, adding some double entendres, things like that. So I'm really trying to elevate myself in my pen game at all times.
Wow, you really read my mind because my next question I was going to tell you, you give me a real lyricist feel, like a performer type of feel, like doing music and stuff like that. I definitely get that vibe, that energy from you. So what made you transition into battle rap? Like, what made you kind of want to do this?
It's kind of a funny story. Yeah, I've been doing music, and it's kind of funny. I've been writing for a long time. I've been working with a producer for a long time, and I've really just been piling a lot of material. And so in the last year, like, I was really starting to get more focused and driven on my music game. And, like, even recently, just this week, a cipher that I did in December just dropped, the 6th cipher. Shout out to Maisie S. on that. And she's really repping for the females out here in Toronto.
Okay.
But so I've definitely been in touch with doing stuff like that. But with getting into battling, it was kind of, I'd already been familiar with battling. I've kind of listened to it here and there, checked it out here and there over the years, but I'd never really gotten immersed into the culture. And dating a guy who is immersed in the culture, who's been battling out here for a minute and, took a step back from the battle game, starting to date him and being around him, hearing my music and hearing me spit, he was like, I could see you doing battle rap. And I was like, really? And at first I was kind of hesitant about it. And, I'm like, it's so different from music. I wasn't sure. And then, he kept pushing me and was like, holla at the dudes at Beast Mode. make that connection and happen. And my Beast Mode debut went really, really well. It was a great experience, and my bars came together really well for that. The reaction that I got was good. So I said, you know what, this is something I could definitely see myself doing because I did it well and it went well. And so from there, it was just, reaching out to different leagues, connecting with people, and it is what it is. It's been what it's been.
Now, shout out to the Beast Modes. Now, you did have a battle on Alpha League. Did you battle out in the States before?
No, that was my first. That was my first out-of-town battle, my first battle in the States. So, and shouts to Alpha League, shouts to Dala, shouts to Bar Wars, Sean Morrison, shouts to King of the Dot and Gully. That was a crazy weekend of battle rap. I got to see a lot of great battles and be around a lot of great battlers. So it was definitely a great time. And I look forward to doing more stuff. Like, there's definitely a couple leagues that I've been in talks with already in the States, and I'm lining up a lot of stuff for 2017. So, I mean, it's all lovely. I'm really excited for what's coming and what's on the table right now.
Word. T7M Radio, this is the Culture with Seven Mitchell. We got Miss Black Pearl in the building now. Miss Black Pearl, I got to ask you something, because the Queen of the Ring as a brand has been, from a fan standpoint, you can say, well, this is opinionated, been up and down this year as far as expectations.
All of battle rap's opinionated.
Right, right. That's all facts. That's all facts. Let me ask you this, though. Like, with you coming in this new roster spawn session with all this young talent, like, what do you plan to bring to the Queen of the Ring that they may have not seen in a while or may have never seen? Like, what do you plan to bring to the table to the Queen of the Ring?
Well, given the fact that you've seen some of my battles already, you probably are aware I've been known to do an antic or two. So that's something that I definitely think I can bring that's different to Queen of the Ring. Yes, I got bars and I got pens, but I also put on a performance. I'm there to put on a show, too. So factoring that in, I mean, you never know what you're going to get with me. I'm unpredictable like that. So I like to switch it up. I like to keep the audience and my opponents guessing. So who knows? I mean, I'm definitely going to bring more than people are expecting from me, I'm sure.
Now, being a follower of the Queen of the Ring brand out in Toronto, did you have, like, a favorite, you know what I'm saying, from the brand? Like, who's some of your top female artists you think Queen of the Ring that you really rock with?
That's a hard question for me, because like you just said, battle rap is very opinionated. And, there's a lot of, I respect anybody doing this at the end of the day, because I know what it takes to do it now. So I know what goes into it. I know, the time and focus it takes, the drive it takes, and all that. So anybody that's doing it, I respect, because it's not easy. But, I mean, I've checked out some jazz stuff recently. I've checked out She's Somebody I Like. I've checked out Official, obviously. Seeing Official versus Disaster, that was crazy. There's a lot of people. Like, Queen of the Ring has so much talent, old and new, that, like, there's too much to choose from, honestly. But those are a couple that definitely stick out in my mind.
Now, speaking of Jazz the rapper, I got to get your prediction. She going down, I'm locking it with E Hart on URL's BL4, Born Legacy 4 on the 28th. You got a prediction? Yeah. You got a prediction?
That. Honestly,
it's going to be a tough one, right?
I don't even know. Okay. I know the obvious answer is E Hart, but at the same time, I don't like to underestimate people. So I think I'm gonna edge it to E Hart 2-1, because I think Jazz might come out of her bag for this one.
Word. It's gonna be a goodie. Jazz got to show off, because her URL performances have not been that great. She lost the Official. Hustle kind of did it a little dirty, so she definitely got to turn up right now.
And that's the thing. Like, that's what's gonna make her go in her bag at this point. She has to. And when your back's against the wall, that's when the shit gets real. So I mean, I think she's gonna get in her bag, and I think she's really gonna have a good performance and really show out.
Now, I want to ask you something too, because I had a couple of the ladies on from the card. I asked them as well, talking about some of the top tier girls like Jazz the rapper, Miss Hustle, that left the Queen of the Ring brand. You hear mixed feelings from the streets. Some feel like they want those vets to come back. That Queen of the Ring need them to come back. Some feel like it's enough young talent and up and coming talent that they not needed to come back. Where do you really stand at from the artist standpoint? I mean, you coming out Toronto, so you really got a lot on your back with this. And would you want them, in the ring with you, or do you feel like it's a new wave, it's a new time, and it is what it is?
I mean, I can see both sides of it, definitely. I can see that, shit, they got to move out the way because I need a spot. Somebody's got to make a spot for me. So, you know what I mean? I can't really hate on anybody moving on or doing what's right for them in their career. At the end of the day, everybody has a different journey. Everybody has a different trajectory. People wouldn't have thought I would be on Queen of the Ring in 6-7 months from when I debuted. That's crazy. So, I mean, to be able to pull that off, and there's going to be people who are going to say, oh, just battle here and just build yourself up here and try and keep you in a certain lane. You got to do what's good for you or what is right for you, because not everybody is going to follow the same path. There might be somebody that's going to start battling and just be like, I just want to do this for the hobby, for the fun. I'm not really trying to make a career out of it, versus the person who's like, yo, I'm in this. I'm invested. So, I mean, I can't really hate on anybody or question anybody's journey. Do what you got to do what works for you. If URL is better for you than Queen of the Ring, cool. If, there's a lot of leagues out here. And at the end of the day, I'm a firm believer in the principle that everybody can eat. There's enough out here, we all can get it. So everybody do their thing. Like, do what works for you. And at the end of the day, Queen of the Ring, to be honest, they have a lot of talent, old and new. So, you at some point, you got to shift with the game. You got to move with the movement. So you can have the same battlers going at each other, but eventually you're going to run out of girls. That's why they need a new class at this point. Eventually, there'll be the matchups that people have been dying for years and years and years and wanting to see, but you also got to switch it up. You got to keep it fresh. You got to keep it new, or else it'll get stale. And nobody wants to be stale in the battle game.
Right. Dropping them gems. It's all facts, Miss Black Pearl talking that shit. Now, I do want to change gears a little bit. I want you kind of lock in with my listeners and tell us about, your opinion on the battle scene and out in Toronto. A lot of us in the States, when we hear battles in Toronto, first thing we think of King of the Dot, but kind of shed light maybe on some other leagues and what some other things that's going on out in Toronto when it comes to battles, females and males.
There's a lot going on, and Toronto is a huge hub for music, period, let alone battle rap. And obviously, like you said, King of the Dot is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Toronto and battle rap. Shouts to King of the Dot, shouts to Organic, Belly, and Bishop. I had the pleasure of meeting Bishop at my last battle in December. So, I mean, shouts to those dudes. They're definitely doing their thing. And, because you automatically go to think of King of the Dot, but there's a lot of leagues, not only in Toronto, but in Canada, period, that are doing things. I definitely got to shout out Beast Mode. That's family. That's, their love. I can't even express enough love for the Beast Mode dudes, because they've been there, real talk. I just had a Beast Mode battle in December, and, it's just love. So definitely they're doing their thing. I know they're doing a lot as far as the females. There's other females coming up in the Beast Mode Toronto brand right now. So, I mean, there's only room to move up from here in any of the leagues here. And I'm checking out my Montreal battle. Shouts to DMS, BZ, what up? That's the Montreal league that I battled in. That was a really awesome opportunity. I got to meet Big T at that battle. It was dope. It was a dope time. And just being able to be in that vibe and that essence, it was mad cool. There's another league coming out of Ottawa. We got Capital Rap Battles. We got UGK in Kingston. Shouts to all of them. So, I mean, there's a lot for battle rap going on in Canada, for real. Like, there's a lot. And you already know some of the top tier battlers from King of the Dot, Pat Stay's Canadian. There's a lot of Canadian talent out here doing their thing. So, I mean, like I said, there's only room to move up from here.
Do you have any projects coming up that you're working on, or you might want to let the streets know outside of, battles and stuff like that you might want to let the people know about?
I'm gearing up to release something later this year. I'm not really talking about it too tough. I just want to let it speak for itself. But definitely working on a project to be dropped later this year.
Cool. Now, I know you said there's really no competition. You're not really looking at no competition, but I mean, have you got any type of because coming from Toronto, some girls are going to sleep on you, especially if they're not doing their homework.
Of course.
You understand what I'm saying? Do you feel added pressure with that? Like, how do you feel about that?
It's funny to me. It's actually very funny to me because I've already experienced that, and I'm very new to the game, but I've already experienced that. I've already had people like, just questioning and doubting, and you can doubt me, you can underestimate me, but that's your fault. Like, straight up, like, I can't. The information's out there for you to see. If you don't see it, if you don't look at it, that's your problem. But it's seek and ye shall find. You go out and look for it, it's there. You'll see what the potential is and how I may surprise people. So, like you said, people are going to sleep on me. Honestly, I to a certain degree, that's already happened. I love it. It's funny to me because then when I come out my bag and I surprise people, they're like, "Oh shit, we weren't expecting that."
Yeah, I can tell you embrace it. I can tell you embrace that energy. Like, I can tell it doesn't rattle you at all. Have you, now you mentioned, like you said, it's been 7 months, you know what I'm saying, and you making the Queen of the Ring appearance. Have you got any type of negative energy, any hate from people? I mean, not really having to name somebody, but have you felt any type of hate and energy because of you been able to make, a successful one in such a short amount of time?
Not directly yet. I'll be honest, I'm expecting it, I'm anticipating it, especially when the battle actually happens and what comes of that night and next weekend. I think that will probably be the catalyst for the hate to really start rolling in. But the last time I was in New York, I went to see Cat Williams, and Cat Williams said something that I live by. If people ain't hating on you, you got to ask yourself why. If they are, you're doing something right. So, shit, I'm trying to get my haters up by summertime. Real talk. So, it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. That's, I want to give people a reason to hate me. Because if you hate me, that means you're talking about me. And if you're talking about me, that means you know about me. So, it's all relative. It's all connected,
Right. Well, Ms. Black Pearl, I'm not going to hold you up, man. I appreciate you so much for calling up to the culture. Let the streets know where they can follow you at on social media just in case they out the loop.
All right. Well, definitely be sure to check me out on Twitter at Ms. Black Pearl, MZBlackPearl. On Instagram at Ms. Black Pearl Music. Same thing with add the music on the end. And, find me on Facebook, Abigail Ackham. And that's what it is. Check me out.
It's going down January 21st. Winter Wars, Spawn Session, Queen of the Ring, featuring Miss Black Pearl from Toronto. Miss Black Pearl, I appreciate you so much. The best of luck to you. I'm definitely going to be in the building.
I'm looking forward to it. We gotta definitely connect and say what's up when we out there. But I appreciate you having me. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and definitely looking forward to that trip next week. Have a great evening, and I'll see you next weekend. Winter Wars, Queen of the Ring. What up?
You already know. Be good now. Salute.
All right, you too. Peace.